changed anything on the car for this season?
Yeah, we have it a little bit better in the bottom end of the engine, and it's got better response, so it should be good for a track like this.
Some say that your car is the strongest one in the European Championship. What about that?
Yeah, I think Martin Schenker's and Thor Holmes must be equally as powerful.
Martin Schenker does indeed have what must be considered the state-of-the-art RS200, but on the first Saturday of the season in Portugal, after dominating practice, he turned it upside down, escaping unhurt. Michael Jernberg, 127, had already started the ball rolling, so to speak. He entertained the crowd, drew himself a round of applause, and also walked away from this one unscathed. And while Michael Jernberg walks away from it, let's turn to defending Division 1 champion Kenneth Hansen and ask him about the growing size of the grid.
I think it's very good for the sponsors and so on, because for some years ago we was a little behind Division 2, but in these days we can compare with them, so I think it's very good.
Hansen in the centre of this grid for the first qualifying heat of the year. Quick off the mark, but not quick enough. 127, Jernberg in the thick of things again, and leaving the way clear to Kenneth Hansen after a kamikaze run down to the first corner. Hansen being pursued by Steiner Uranli in this front-wheel drive Astra, 2 litres, nowhere near the 500 horsepower of the Cosworth. No one's told Steiner Uranli that he is up against it. Division 2 qualifying. And in this first heat, Will Gollop announced his challenge for 1991. Quickest man on the track in the first of the qualifying heats, leaving Tommy Christopherson's Quattro trailing in his wake as the little 6R4 Metro bounced around a hard, dry circuit. If Schenker has the state-of-the-art RS200, Gollop's must be the state-of-the-art 6R4 bi-turbo, but he slowed in the second and third heats and didn't make the front row, though he did earn himself a place in the A final. Behind him, Rob Gibson and Tommy Christopherson battling it out. It's Gibson who comes round there, leaves the door wide open for Christopherson and the big Quattro to get through and grab second. Martin Schenker was the quick man in heats 2 and 3, securing pole position after an all-night rebuild of the shattered RS200. So we go on to the C final in Division 1. 1, 2, 4, that lurid pink Sierra is John Scogan, probably the man to watch out for here. Pursued by Virgil Almeida, local man, and 131. That's Jose Borges, Citroen AX Sport. A little bit of a spin there as locals, as always, caught up in their own enthusiasm to get into the big-time A final with the big guns of the series. Scogan it is who goes through to the B final. The winner of the C promotes himself to the B, the winner of the B promotes himself to the A. That's the way it goes. That's what all these men were hoping for. It's John Scogan who's gone up into the B final. C final in Division 2, and Hans te Pas, number 27, probably the man to watch out for here. Hans Willem te Pas, the Dutch driver, running away at the front with the 6R4 Metro, and really leaving the rest of the field behind. Behind him, the Quattro of Eric Geiselhofer, but really not pressuring the 6R4. And the rest of the field nowhere in sight as the checkered flag drops, and Hans te Pas promotes himself to the B final in Division 2. B final time, Division 1, Christer Bolin, number 123, a new driver for the series and a new car for him, although it's Hansen's double championship winner. Bolin in the lead. Behind him is 108 Camille Verikin with the Saab. Soon overtaken by 122, that's Laszlo Maruzzi. Christer Bolin making his mark on the series and grabbing himself a place in the A final, even if it is the back row, that's where he's headed. This is the B final in Division 2. Tommy Christopherson with the green Quattro, alongside him number 10 is Paulie Silverneinen. It's the Quattro's power that makes the break as they run down to the corner, and carnage there. 23 Mark Verheck with the Quattro, assaulting everybody else inside. Gibson piling in on the inside there. gets past the Quattro, trailing bits of bodywork. Rob Gibson has battered his way to the front. There are supposed to be officials all the way round this circuit whose role in life it is to make sure that someone who causes an accident does not benefit from it. If he does, then he loses his place in the race, is excluded from the result. Gibson, I don't know whether you could say he caused an accident, but he's definitely a beneficiary as he collects the checkered flag ahead of Tommy Christopherson. And that was a fairly physical B final. And here's the grid for the A final in Division 1. Hansen, Urandi, Evan Doppler, Bjorn Skogstad, perhaps the danger man for Hansen this year, Michael Jernberg, and up from the B is Christer Bolin. This is Bjorn Skogstad, the man who was in the hunt for the title last year and lost it to Kenneth Hansen. Hansen, foot down and away. He does like to make his getaways, pursued by Bjorn Skogstad. Look at that. Evan Doppler, the Norwegian, on the inside there, wouldn't give ground to Bjorn Skogstad. And Skogstad now door handling his way to the front, and it goes all wrong for him. He noses into the bank and really paid the price of his own attempts to bully his way round the outside. Kenneth Hansen now clear in the front with Evan Doppler behind him. Finally, Urandi and the Astra. Hansen under attack, no doubt about it, from Evan Doppler, but looking fairly comfortable. There's the checkered flag. Kenneth Hansen scores his first 20 points of 1991. You can bet it won't be his last 20 points. Here's the grid for the A final in Division 2. Martin Schanke, Steve Palmer, Will Gollop, Becca Ranton, Tor Holm and Rob Gibson. 6R4s and RS200s all over the place there. Martin Schanke will be the man to watch. He shares development costs with Tor Holm, and Holm therefore has an RS200E which is more or less on par with Schanke's. But it's number 12 Steve Palmer on the front row with Schanke as the Norwegian puts his foot down. Mr. Rallycross goes for the front. He's got Gollop on the inside. Gollop's all crossed up and sideways, slams into number 14 Gibson. And carnage in this A final now. Rob Gibson's really been in the wars this weekend. Palmer's in second place. Gibson, I think, was still there in third, or what's left of his 6R4 is holding third place. Gollop disappeared in that cloud of dust and may still be running. There is Martin Schanke on his way to the checkered flag. 20 points to Schanke. Palmer second, then it goes Holm, Gibson and Will Gollop. And Martin Schanke has begun the season more or less as everybody expects him to run it and to finish it.